Hello everyone, I am Will, and welcome back to my playthrough of Dark Souls 2, Skull of the First Sin. Yep. Last we left off, we finished up the Sunken Crown DLC. Yep. The last thing we had to do was the Cave of the Dead. Yep, it's the challenge zone for the Sunken Crown. It's each DLC has at least one challenge zone. I think the Iron King has two, but the challenge zones are just areas where you're meant to summon other players, other human players, like other people, not NPCs. So they're usually denser with enemies, a bit more challenging, for lack of a better word. But the Sunken Crown challenge area, I believe, is actually the easiest of the challenge areas, so that's kind of saying something. But yeah, it's the cave is full of Sanctum soldiers, the little lizard guys carrying poison spitting statues on their back. There's one of those little worm things that we found in Black Gulch down there. And a whole bunch of poison-spitting statues. Yep. Except those statues spit petrification. Yep. That's probably the most unique thing about the Cave of the Dead, is that those statues spit out petrification instead of poison. Yeah. So if you don't have enough petrification resistance, it is an instant death if it procs. Very much like Curse from Dark Souls 1. So. We chose our armor set just to maximize our petrification resistance, and as well as the Ash Knuckle Ring to further boost our resistance. Yeah, so our resistance to petrification was high enough that we could basically ignore those statues. And the only thing we had to worry about was that those statues still did poise damage, so they could still stagger us. But other than that, we could have just ignored them. Yeah, so the only thing we had to worry about was the Sanctum soldiers, which luckily we could just throw alluring skulls and get backstabs on. And the little lizard guys with the statues on their backs, which we used our bone arrow to take out at range, so we just kind of deal with them. So we just kind of slow and steadily went through the cave. The two loot of note would be the bright bugs that we picked up, as well as the petrified somethings. I think those were the two loot of interest, I would say. Yep, so we just kind of cleared it out, made our way to the boss fight at the end, which is a gank fight. It is a 3v1 in our case. Again, it's meant to be done with other players, like one or two, at least one, two, let me get my words straight. It is a 3v1 gank fight. It is intended to be done with two other players, so if we had two other players with us, it wouldn't have been so bad. But again, I did it by myself, so I utilized poison. Yep, I utilized the power of poison in Dark Souls 2 to help deal with that fight. Yeah, because we had to deal with three enemies. One is the Afflicted Grave Robber, who has the Alva set, dual katanas, Ancient Soldier Varg, which was a Havel lookalike, and I forget the third one. He was the deranged guy with the great bow. So we just kind of utilized the terrain and dark fog poison to just kind of kite them around, poison them, and just wait for it to take effect. And luckily it did, because I think the only one who will actually heal is Varg, but I think the others can heal. It's just that I've only seen Varg do it. I haven't seen the other two actually do it myself, but yeah, we just kind of ran around, poisoned, and we did eventually defeat them. Yeah, and they dropped three twinkling Titanites, 3 petrified dragon bones, and a slab. Yep. Yeah. Luckily we did it in one try, thank God. I was expecting to sit there for like 4 or 5 tries, because it's very much luck dependent. but so I guess we used up our luck, huh? Yep. So we defeated them, progressed deeper into the cave for a reward, which was I think 3 black weed bombs, which increase intelligence by 5 for about 45 seconds, I believe, as well as the flower skirt. Yep, the flower skirt, a pretty looking skirt that increases vigor by 2 and I think endurance by 1. So it is pretty something to keep in mind. But yep, and that was our reward, the flower skirt and those weed bombs. Yep, and then after that we went to back to the undead crypt, into the memory of the king, to talk with King Vendrick, because he has additional dialogues now that we have one of the crown or DLC crowns. Yep. So we went to him, talked with him. He gave us some more stuff about how, we're the Seeker of Fire, the Conqueror of Dark, all that jazz. Yep. And then after that, I went to Majula, checked if anything was new, which nothing was new. I don't think anything's going to be new in Majula until we defeat Nissandra at the end of the base game, but yep, and that was it. Yep, that was it. Short and sweet. Well, short relatively speaking, but yeah, just Cave of the Dead, talked with Vendrick, and that was it. Between episodes, I didn't do anything. Nope, I didn't farm or anything. I just came right here to the entrance to the memory of the Iron King, or Crown of the Iron King, I mean. Yep. And today we are going to start the second DLC, the Crown of the Iron King. Yep. Which will take us, this is the entrance here. It's just past the old Iron King boss fight. Yep. And in order to access the DLC, you would need the heavy Iron King key, I believe. This one. Yeah, the heavy Iron King. Yep. Yep. That's the plan. We're going to be starting the DLC. We'll be beginning our adventures into Brume Tower, as it's called. Yep. Yeah. The basic enemies should be easier, air quotes, than the basic enemy of the Sunken Crown. We should be able to at least poise break the Ash Soldiers, I think they're called. Yeah, but if I remember right, the enemies in the old Iron, in the memories in the enemies in the Crown of the Iron King, if I remember right, they are pretty resistant to the elements. So just kind of stick with physical attacks if you can. Lightning might be your best choice if you're going to go elemental, but they are, I think they're all either immune or very resistant to fire, so there's no point in doing that. Also, some of the basic soldiers are resistant to slash damage, which is most weapons in the game. Probably should use a spear or a mace, but we're going to stick with this Drake Keeper sword just because. Yeah. There's also going to be a bunch of little, I think it's called an Ash Idol. Yeah, going to need to destroy those things, because those things buff enemies, deal AoE damage, heal enemies, resurrect enemies, the whole shebang. Got to deal with those as well throughout the area. Yep. It is, in my opinion, it is a better DLC than the Sunken Crown, but it is going to be a bit harder. Yep. A lot more enemies. Hopefully we can poise break them with the our weapon here in the stone ring, but if we can't, then it's going to be a real issue. Yep. So that's the plan. We're going to start the Crown of the Iron King. Yep. And our equipment for today, at least to start out, this might change depending on the situation. We have the Drake Keeper sword plus 10, just because I think it goes with this ensemble. Again, I think most of the enemies in the DLC are going to be resistant to slash, so it's probably not going to be the best choice, but it's the one I want to do. Got Hunter Blackbow, just in case we need to hit enemies at range. or to pick people off or whatever. King shields can probably be your standard shield going forward. Or dragon shine, because I will be chucking lightning spears when possible. My basic ring setup: Corinthian ring, stone ring, ring of blades, clear bluestone. Better standard regen is always good. Hopefully this will allow us to poise break the enemies, at least the basic enemies. Ring of blades just to again improve our attack power and faster cast speeds. And our armor, I got my death mask or dark mask. Call it a death mask, but no, it's a dark mask. Sanctum Knight armor, King's gauntlets, and Sanctum Knight leggings. Yep, I think it looks pretty cool with our little weapon and shield, almost like a greenish Death Knight. Yep, and the leggings here do provide a fall damage reduction. So it does reduce fall damage, although I'm not quite sure by how much. It's not quite as much as the silver cat ring or the cat feet ones, but better than nothing. So that's why our feet are kind of glowing like that. Yep. Should provide decent, pretty good physical resistance. Although our elemental is going to be kind of bad, but we'll deal with. I have a means to counteract that. Got my standard flask and life gems. Going with the gold pine resin, because again, I believe lightning is probably your best bet if you're going to do elemental damage against the enemies here. Alluring skulls, because I'm pretty sure these will affect the Ash Warriors, the most common enemies. So that way we can use, if we get swarmed with them, by them, we can throw this down, backstab one or two of them, and hopefully help us out. Yep. Lightning arrows and poison arrows, because I think, again, lightning arrows probably the best. Poison arrows just in case we need to poison something. Here are my stats. Why do I have 1 in intelligence? I don't remember having something that improves intelligence. Oh! The dark mask ups intelligence by 1? It ups intelligence and faith by 1. Wow, I did not know that. Cool. Interesting. Alright. So I did level up once in the end of the last episode to 31 dexterity. Alright. I have 3 copies of Great Lightning Spear, Great Magic Barrier to hopefully offset our low elemental resistances or elemental defenses. And Sunlight Blade. It's 2 copies of Sunlight Blade. Again, to buff our weapon if we need to. And again, I think Lightning is going to be your best bet in the DLC here. Alright. I think I rambled on long enough. Let's get to it. Into the Brume Tower, or into the crown of the Iron King. Here we are. Yep, I think we were here one time. Yep. Be channeled somewhere far away. Yep. This is where people who didn't have the DLC would put down their summon signs, be summoned in the DLC's challenge areas. Yep. I think there are 2 different challenge areas in this DLC. There's one challenge area that will lead to the Blue Smelter Demon, another challenge area in a Memory of the Iron King, I believe it's called. Yeah, I think this one has 2 different challenge areas. Yeah, not looking forward to that. Nope. But through here requires the heavy iron key. Yep. I believe this is the same door from the Sunken Crown. Yep. Alright. Let's go. We immediately come upon an elevator, huh? Okay, so this is just a fall. Alright. Here we are. Brume Tower. Yep. Can immediately see some items. You can actually see one of the new enemies here in the DLC. That right there is a what's called a possessed armor. Yeah, it'll come together and it's got a sword for close range, a great bow for long range. Yep. We also have another enemy there. I think that's I think it's called a fume sorceress. Yeah, they like to chuck lightning spells actually. You think it'd be fire, but nope, it's lightning. They also have a teleport spell that allows them to like teleport away. I think she'll teleport to that spot. Oh, there's actually another one right there. Never mind. Yeah. So that's going to be a good spot to use poison arrows. Poison her, and then kind of poison him. Yep, and actually, I think that area there is where we'll find an NPC invader. Yep. If you get over there, make sure you have a tree of a seed of a giant. Yep. Because I think the NPC invader will actually run down deeper in there, where there are more enemies and an ash idol. So you just kind of use the seed of a giant, get the enemies to kill the invader, and that should help clear out the area. Alright. We'll actually enter in up there. Yep. You can see royal soldiers. Yep. You see Vendrick's army was here. Here we have this is actually an ash idol, or at least what remains of one. Yep. 6 smelter wedges. We use these wedges to destroy those idols. I think they are in here. Yep, there it is. An iron wedge forged in this land destroys the Ashen Idol. The Ashen Idol is of great consequence to Nadalia, who, having renounced her flesh, entrusted her very being to it. So, Nadalia cast off her flesh, put her soul into the Ashen Idols, or her being into the Ashen Idols. Alright, yeah, so basically every time we destroy an Ashen Idol, we'll get a piece of her soul. I think we need 12 soul fragments in order to get her soul proper. So we need to destroy all the idols and kill Raimi, yep, the final boss of the DLC. So we have 6 wedges here. There should be another 5 throughout the tower. We need to make sure we have 6 by the time we get to the bottom. Or not 6, 4 by the time we get to the very bottom. Alright. Here we come, Brume Tower. Yeah, we should encounter an Ashen Idol right up here. No, that seems too far, yeah. I'm thinking we might be able to just kind of drop down, but I think it's too far. Yeah. Well, we might be able to make it if we have this Silvercat ring, no armor, fur boots. We might be able to make that drop right there. But I'll test it out at the end. Brume Tower. Yep. So I'm over there. Get a sneak peek into the tower. Yep. Yeah, so drop downs might not be a bad idea. Yeah. I should see some more items and a bit further, but here's a throne. Guessing that's where the Iron King would sit. But and we should have our first idol right here. There she is. I can hear her speaking. I'm trying to make out what she's saying. Alright, I can't quite make out what she's saying, but this one will just spew out a like a firestorm type pyromancy. So we need to run in and smelter wedge it as quickly as we can. Actually, we're going to use use one of these just to boost our fire resistance by a bit. Yes. Destroy the idol. Soul of Nadalia, Bride of Ash. It's not an actual soul, it's a fragment of her soul. Yep. A soul's fragment of a soul. Soul of Nadalia, Bride of Ash. We renounced her flesh and wandered Brume Tower. When Nadalia came to this land, the king she sought was no longer there. Dispirited, she forsook her own soul and clung to the heirlooms of the old king. It is only a fragment of a soul that cannot be used in this state. Yep. Just by looking at it, it is dark. It's the same as Alana here. So we can assume that Nadalia is also another child of dark. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it might have some more to say once we get the complete soul, but. Just be careful. Alright. That is a throne for a king. Yep. Alright, so we have two ways to go. We can go that way, we can go this way. Let's go this way. Yeah, once you destroy the idol, it is gone, so we don't have to worry about it again. Looks like we can go that way. Well, does this work? Alright, no, it does not work. So we have to actually activate the tower for this to work. Okay, that's not happening, so let's just feather out of here. So soon, man. Yeah, right now the tower is currently deactivated. We need to turn the tower back on in order to access these elevators and such. So we'll come back to this once that elevator works. Again, we could just drop down, but I want to check out this other staircase instead. Yep, the idol is permanently gone once you wedge it. Alright, so this is a dead end. Alright. Dexterity ring. We actually might use that. Here. Increases dexterity by 5 points. An oddly deformed iron ring increases the dexterity of its wearer. The old Iron King ruled over a great age of iron. The king's power allowed him to mold iron freely, as if he held sway over the forces of life and creation. Yep. And I think it is hinted at in the Soul of the Iron King. Where is it? Is it a soul? It's either his soul or his weapon. It hinted at him being a, almost like an incarnation of Gwyn, the Lord of Lights. Yep. So. Oh, that right there is the access point to the memories of the Iron King. Yep. That's the second challenge zone in the Crown of the Iron King DLC. That's the second challenge area. That'll lead to Sir Alon. Yep. I didn't realize we can get a view of it from so early. Although getting to that armor is a pain in the butt because there's 5 red phantoms and an invader just in that little hallway leading up to this armor, as well as an ash idol which buffs them, I believe. So that's a real pain in the butt to get to. Alright, so it looks like our way forward is this drop down, so... yeah, so we just have to drop here, here, old growth bomb, we got fortifies strength. Is our fall muffled? Huh. I heard it. I can just barely hear it. It's the same mumbling as the ash idol, so there should be another one nearby. Yep, I can hear it. Yep. Alright. Here's our main enemy type in the area. I think they're called Ash Soldiers, or Ash Warriors. Alright. 3 hits. Not too bad. Not too bad. Twilight Herbs. Don't mind if I do. It's around here somewhere. So item. Oh, looks like we got 2 of them by accident. Alright, so we can stagger them in 1 hit, or poise break in 1 hit. Yeah, they are pretty resistant to the magics. But the fact that we can poise break them, awesome. That's what we wanted. And then we can kill them in 2 hits is also good. Yeah, I'm not used to pairing these guys, so... And... Luring Skulls do work, so that's... Alright. So, Luring Skulls work, that's good. That's what I wanted to test. There she is. Yep, that's the idol that leads up to the... memory of the Iron King. I think she has a buffing aura. Yeah, I think she buffs the enemies nearby, increasing, I think, their attack and defenses as well as heal them, so yeah. Once we get to that area, the first thing we're going to do is take care of that idol. Use water. Alright. There are a few fake walls in here. I'll try to remember where they are, but... Alright. Very vertical DLC, which is nice. Black Lead Bomb. Okay. And it looks like that is how we access the area to the DLCs, that elevator right there. Yeah, I think it goes down that way. Yep. Alright. So the ladder. Alright. Alright. Can you be poisoned? I think you can, but it might take 3 hits. Oh, it takes 4. Oh, it takes a lot more than that. Alright, whatever. A scythe plus 7. I don't think there's anything on the back side. Nope. Okay, cool. There's a possessed armor. Yep. Alright, we could just drop down there, but we're not going to. Let's see what's over here. A couple of prism stones. Might help mark our way. And a chest. There's another statue there, in a room full of enemies. Alright, so we have a chest. A slab, don't mind if I do. Alright, that'll probably take us down to the room down there. Alright, actually we'll backtrack, we'll actually hop across. We'll go over there. I think we just sprint off. There we go. Right, deal with this possessed armor. Alright, you're a bit more poised, but we swing fast enough to trigger it. There we go. Ooh, we got their sword. Nice. That was actually a pretty lucky drop. Possessed armor sword. It's a regular sword. Has a bit of fire infused on it. Innate fire infusion. Straight sword wielded by possessed armor. Has a heated blade imbued with fire. This suit of armor were once decorations, until the black fog ruling the tower seized control of them. I'm probably pretty sure that the black fog mentioned here is Nadalia. Again, she did, forsook her flesh and kind of became like a wandering spirit almost. She probably took control of the armors. Really cool looking. Mm-hmm. I think the L2 is a buff. Oops. Yep. Use durability, buff the sword. I use 10 durability to buff the sword. Yep, cool. Alright. Oops, it's an option. Alright. So yep, there's the ladder that brings us down here. We could use an alluring skull to lure the soldiers away as we go for the idol. Let's see what's over here. Another chest. No latches. We have modifier aesthetic human effigies. Don't mind if I do. Don't care for the aesthetic, but the effigies will take. Alright, so I guess our only way forward is over here. Alright. So we're gonna make a break for the statue. So let us yeet. I don't think they're active till we get down there. Never mind. Ow. Yeah, this one busts them with ash, so they'll revive themselves. So we definitely need to throw another one. That briefly stuns them. One shot them. Claymore soul. Wow. Alluring skulls make this a lot easier. Wow. Alluring skulls, where were you my entire first playthrough? God. Oh yeah, we took care of one of the soldiers that was here. Yep. You guys see, I see all the way down. Yep. The very bottom is where we find Raimi, the Fume Knights. But we need to activate the tower first, so we gotta go find that wedge. So I think that door is the way forward, but we're gonna check out what's over here. Another soldier. You by yourself? No. Why was I not surprised? Alright, let's get him out of there. Yeah, you're not immune when you're critical hitting, but... There we go. I should have known there was another one. Alright. There is a there's item. Dance of Fire. I'm guessing it's a pyromancy. Yep, Dance of Fire. Pyromancy created by the Magus Ingle. Ingle? Hold on. Ingil. Yeah, I think we're going to call him Ingil. Loyal follower of the old Iron King. Casts flame in a sweeping motion across a targeted area. The fire seems to dance. It makes its victims dance with it. Based on the little icon here, it looks like it's kind of like a black flame. Because in, I think, Dark Souls 1 DLC, there was a pyromancy that you would pick up in the Chasm of the Abyss that was called Dark Flame, or Black Flame. Yeah, it was a pyromancy that had a bit of physical damage to it. So I think this might be one of those. Which makes sense, because, you know, Nadalia is a child of dark, and she came to the Brume Tower. She could have affected the pyromancies that were here with dark. She's one of my smaller life gems. Alright, this is the way forward. And we see two chests down below, so there's a room down beneath us. I think that's a room obscured by a fake wall. door? Okay. I think that's the way forward. We can check out this area over here. Well, actually, it looks like it might loop around. So we'll go this way first. 2 mundane stones. How did I know? Mr. Halberd. Oh, that was a bit slower. You have a tad more health than your counterparts. Okay. A couple of Lloyd's talismans. I wonder if this is a fake wall. Yep. And here's the room. Yep, there's the little room with a bunch of stuff. Alright. Chest number 1. Two soul vessels. We'll take them. We will take them. I guess these have water? Yes, these have water. Which is probably not a good idea because, again, the fume sorceresses, they use lightning, so... yeah, not a good idea. Chest number 2. Old Radiant Life Gems and Will to Dusk Herbs. Well, we'll take that. 4 and 4, won't say no. Alright, so I guess we're going to be drenched for this next coming part. Yeah, that's not a good idea. Nope. Well, I think the sorceresses are a bit further on, but... yeah, the last thing you want is be drenched when you're fighting those sorceresses. Let us add that. And resin and skull. There you are. Oh, we'll put the resin on once we run out of Sunlight Blade. I think we get the smelter wedge in that tower over there. Yeah, I think that's where we get the smelter wedge. Yeah. Alright. Ah, these guys. These are cast runners. Yeah, they'll explode if you hit them with fire. Throw these on there. Ow. My ears. I'm sorry. Yeah, they will run away from you. Yeah. So don't go running in willy-nilly, because you're going to get blown up. I don't think Alluring Skulls work on them, so you can't hurt them like that. Alright. Ah yes, this section. Well, thank you, armor, for dying. Yours, I hurt. I apologize, that was really loud. Gold fruit bombs. There's a hitbox right here. But there's nothing here. Huh. cast runners. They will boom once they hit that fire. Yeah. Okay. Alright. Nope, we got a soldier right there. Maybe we can plunge attack him? Plunge attack. Nice. Yep, and they drop resins. I think they can drop their weapon. The only unique weapon they drop is from the sword guy. He drops a unique weapon to them. The axe guys drop battle axes. The halberds drop halberds. They don't drop their armor. Yeah. Yes, should be another ash soldier. Yep, I can see him. So let us angle. I'm trying to angle myself. There's another one, so... Fine, I'll come to you. Just stay away from the chest. We want the chest. Selenite Blade was not necessary, but oh well. Right. No latch, not a mimic. Cestus plus 8. Alright. Yes, that room. Yep. See the guy with the chicken drumstick just past the bars. Yeah, he's I think he's called like an Iron Warrior. Much tougher than the Ash Warriors. Hits harder, it's got a lot more health. Ooh, bonfire. Did I open this door? Oh, okay, I need to actually blow up that door. Alright. Let's rest, because we don't want to go back. If I remember right, this door, if you throw a firebomb at it, maybe it's the wrong door. Okay, it might be the wrong door. I'm thinking of something else. There is a door with a bunch of explodey barrels on the other side. I thought it was this one, but it might be a different one. Alright. Okay, yeah, it's a different one. Never mind. I don't think Alluring Skulls work on you. No, alright. Open. Loot. 3 Twinkling Tinites. Alright. That's all we wanted. Cool. Alright. Now we get press a bit forward. Okay, so the door I'm thinking of is over there, where that guy's at. That leads to the door I was thinking of, with the explosive barrels on the other side. That room down there will have another ash idol, so it's best just to kind of lure the enemies over here, take care of them, then deal with the idol. I doubt it, but I'm going to try. Yeah, okay. Alright. Yeah, we'll keep going. So can't go that way. Yep. That right there is the little, what you call it? That's where we put the little smelter wedge. Well, not the smelter wedge. That's the thing we need to activate the tower. That's where we put it. Yeah, once we put it there, the whole tower will activate. The elevators will come online, and all that stuff. All right. So here, this will lead us closer to where we want to go. But yep, there's the door. You can see all the explodey barrels on the other side. Or you can barely see it anyway. I think that's where you actually shoot. Yeah, it doesn't work. Could drop down. Well, let me do this. I think we can shoot an arrow to those barrels. Yes, we can. Okay. Well, I say shoot, but we may not actually be able to hit them. Never mind. Alright, so that's how you do that. Cool. Yeah, you'll show us that that's a little trapdoor. Yeah. So that will lead us around, but let's go this way. This will lead to this door that we couldn't open until we destroy those little barrels. Yep. There's the ash idol. It spawned. Go. All right. Boom! That's what I wanted. Nice. Throw the soldier by the cast guy. Fireball. Nice. There's going to be more soldiers. They'll bust out of the ash. What we want to do is not drop down there. I wonder what this spits us out of. Alright. I wonder what... I want to see where that thing leads, or comes from. I think it might be right here. Now that goes up. Let's do this. Let's do this drop down. Oh, this just drops down here. Okay. Okay, never mind. Never mind. Alright. So let's swing around. We have a possessed armor, which may or may not come alive, I guess. So it's kind of like a little fake out. Okay. Cast runners. Back off. Go, go. I need you to fall down. There you go. fall down. There you go. And thank you. Alright. Some radiant life gems. Cool. Alright, so we're going to try to do our trick again. Although I don't think it actually works. It's like one guy has arrows. There we go. I don't think the cast runner's too far, yeah. Well, that cast runner came and killed him. Thank you. And that cast runner killed him. Nice. Alright, I think that statue causes the enemies to get coated in ash, which causes them to either get... I think it makes them resurrect upon death, like a necromancer. Alright. The one cast runner wandered by the big Iron Warrior, blew him up, and we got used one of the other runners to take care of the other soldier. He's covered in ash. I'll actually try and demonstrate it. He should be very much more resistant. And he should? Oh, okay. I thought he would resurrect. But he's covered in ash, he just has boosted stats. Okay. Okay. Right. I know one of these effects will resurrect the enemy, but... Now, if that's called Outcry. Use our wedge. Soul of Medalia. Yep, that's our, what, third one? Yep, third one. Okay. I tried to get a good look at it, because for the longest time I thought it didn't have a face, but it does have a face. Which is interesting. Okay. And that's the Flame Quartz +3. That should boost fire resistance by quite a bit. That's 100, and that's 150. Alright. Yep, just a better increase in ring. Alright. So this room was actually not that bad. This could have been a lot worse if those cast runners didn't come over here and kill this guy. Yep. But... okay. Sweet. Let's press forward. Yeah, one of these is definitely going to wake up. Alright, you can probably tell by their swords. This guy's sword is... no, it's not glowing. That one is, so he's going to get up. Oh, he was attacking, so... there we go. Thank you. Yeah, you can only get his weapon and his shield from the possessed armors. We have 5 large shards, an effigy, 2 twinkling titanite, and a dried root. No thank you. Well, the dried root is a no thank you. Everything else is the I will take. Get a good look at the lands. The land's covered in what's like a volcanic region. And over here should be the... Hey, there she is. Fume sorceresses. Which I'm going to try and poison if I can. Or just knock her off. That'll do it. I'm waiting for the souls. Oh, she just... Alright. I know you could be poisoned. There it goes. Very resistant, apparently. That's one sorceress down. There is another one. There also should be some soldiers that pop out. Yep, right there. Yep, right behind us too. I knew it. Let's go over here where we have a bit more space. Alright, you gonna come over here or are you just gonna leash? I think you might have leashed. Yep. Thank you. Again, there should be another soldier right there. Hey, over here. Alright, thank you. Again, there should be, another sorceress right there, yep. Right. 5 poison arrows. Geez, that's a lot of resistance. There we go. But that's how I like to deal with them. A whole bunch of ashes down there. Definitely gonna be a lot of soldiers popping out there. FG, don't mind if I do. Kind of get a look at where we're going. Can I get over there? I might be able to drop down from there. I don't think I can get from here. Yeah. Well, I might be able to jump. But it is a far way down. I might die if I do that. Yeah, we'll not. We'll play it safe. Besides, it doesn't look like there's anything over there anyway. Alright. I heard ya. Go. There we go. Orange fur. Oh, alluring skulls, you are awesome. God. Alluring skulls. If you're having trouble, just use alluring skulls. They don't work for every enemy, but they do work for the small guys. Yeah, I knew there was going to be... Crowd of Knights. Hero. Alright. It only worked once. There should be a big guy at the end, I believe. Yeah, great hero, nice. I think that's it, yeah. Yep, okay, cool. Alright, so a bunch of souls, 2 jump scares. Alright. Stairs down or fall gates? Stairs down. Ah, okay, this is the little, yeah, that's where we get invaded by NPC. I forget his name. He's gonna show up again in Elaim Lois in the Ivory King DLC. Alright, so we are gonna cross this. There is another ash idol down in there, and it's gonna be a real pain to get to, but we have an NPC fight. Yep, Muldrin the Assassin. I think he is right here. Trying to block, but yep. You get him low on health, he will run away down there. You can see there's an ash idol down there that gave him gave the enemies ash. Well, he ran away down to the enemies. We're going to use the Seed of a Giant. Give it a sec, and he should start fighting. There they go. And I'm pretty sure he's not programmed to deal with hostile enemies. So he's gonna get wailed on. Yeah. And there he goes. Muldrin the Assassin. Dealt with by our frenemies. Human effigy. Yep. So you can see them covered in ash, which means there is an idol down there. There's these 2 guys here, this is the possessed armor. There might be another possessed armor down there. Yeah, so this one's going to be dangerous until we actually find the idol. We have a chest. 2 bonfire ascetics, sure. Let's get that. You guys not want to... So you guys ain't gonna do anything, huh? There it goes. Well, I could deal with one of you if the other one falls down. Looks like he died. Possessed armor. Alright, so they're covered in ash, which means they are a lot more resistant. I'm gonna deal with this guy. Well, that's not quite what I had in mind, but that worked. Alright, let's go. Yep. Ooh. Curse. Fine, I'll put that on. The Witch's Veil should work here. Yep, cool. Ah, joke's on you, I got the Witch's Veil. Silver Talismans. We're just gonna have to deal with these ash enemies. As long as they die, we'll be fine. Well, that's actually pretty good. And we're gonna get hit, yeah. That's fine. Oh, these guys get up. Okay, okay. Possessed armors are the one that gets revived. The soldiers don't. Okay. Alright, so we just kind of should ignore the armors. There's some more ash guys. Alright. There's the idol. Just ignore everybody, get to the idol. And once we get the idol, we'll just book it. Ash. Right, they're no longer ashed, which means we can actually kill them. That's fine, we'll take the hits. Back off. Forgot about the element up top, and that guy. Just double chug. The fact that he's right there is just... Alright, that's good. That's what we want. Come on. There we go. And you, sir, stop. We're just gonna ignore him. He's not worth the trouble. Alright. Alright. I think the curse effect's no longer functioning because we took care of the idol. I'm pretty sure the idol was causing the curse. Yeah, okay. Hailstone, a bunch of soldiers. Over there, buddy. Over there. It is a metal chest, so it won't break. Alright, let's get our stamina back. There we go. And our reward for coming all the way down here. The majestic greatsword. Those of you from Dark Souls 1, you'll know what this is. It is the Sword of Artorias, or at least the one that he brought back with him from the Abyss. The one he was using in your fight against him in the DLC. Yep. 25 strength, 25 dexterity, 20 faith, and 20 intelligence. And it's pure physical. Nice. An ancient greatsword of unknown origin. The sword was passed down through generations until it reached Gordon, wandering knight of Ferosa, and was lost upon his death. Uncannily, every last one of the prominent swordsmen who inherited this weapon was left-handed. Yep, because in the fight with Artorias, I think he has it in his left hand. Yep. And if you have it in your right hand, it's a Claymore moveset. Yep. However, if you put it in your left hand, as the description implies, same. The R2s are now different, or the strong attacks are different. Yep, it utilizes various moves that the Artorias boss did in the Dark Souls 1. Yep. If you two-hand it, again, standard light attacks, but the heavy attack. Oh, why did it not do it? There we go. Yep, so that's block, but if you hit R2, the Artorias flip. Or Lion's Claw, whatever you want to call it. Yep. That's only possible if you hold it in your left hand. Because that's a parry. And that's the R1. Yep. So if you want the fancy moveset, you gotta be in the left hand. Alright. I was hoping for more wedges down here, but because we need, what, like 5 more wedges somewhere? Alright. Yeah, but that's our reward for coming all the way down here, is the Majestic Greatsword. And a Bride of Ash. Alright. Oop, there's an item on there. Alright, so it's like we're gonna have to deal with you. Bam. Elan Greatbow +5. Cool. I think the Elan Greatbow is a Titanite weapon. So I think that is the max for the Elan bow. Yep. And we have this, we can use it. But I don't really care for great bows, so no. Alright. I think that's it for this little section of the tower. Alright. Yep. Muldrin the assassin invades here. See, the giant makes his little encounter trivial. As long as you do enough health to... as long as you do enough damage to him, he'll run down, and you just seed of a giant and let the enemies take care of him. Alright. Alright, so we'll actually use repair powder real quick. There we go. Alright. Fall gates. Okay, so they're in this room. Alright, this is the room with the little thing we put the activate the tower with. Alright. I'm just checking to see if there's any anything over here. I know there's that one item there, but make sure there's no fake walls in here. Spell Quartz Ring +3. Yep. 150 spell defense. Yep. Yeah, this is the thing we Scorching, 'Iron, 'Scorching, 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 Alright. We have a bonfire. Nice. We will rest. Just want to take a quick peek. See what we see. Alright. Yes, this little area. This area we might have to do more than once because there are various weak walls, is what I would call them, where those cast runners can blow up the wall. But again, because they just kind of wander about, they might die on accident before we can actually break the wall sections. So, yeah. So this little section we have to come back to. Magic stones, cool. Okay, yeah, we'll do this. We'll end it here. Yeah. I think this door is locked. Yeah, locked. Okay. All right. And with that, we'll call an episode. Yep. Started our adventures into Brume Tower, or the Crown of the Iron King DLC. Yeah. Just use the altar and the Iron Keep. Yeah, the altar past the old Iron King boss fight, which brought us to the entryway to the Crown of the Iron King. Yep. Yeah, just took an elevator up through a fog wall. Yep. Saw a bunch of Drangelic soldiers spurned about an ash idol. So it does show that King Vendrick did send his army up here, or at least a contingency up here anyway. Though I don't think they actually made it into the tower, considering the idols further in are still active. But they did have smelter wedges, which are needed to destroy those idols. So, excuse me. So I have a feeling they've encountered Natalia before, or so. Yeah, so we picked up some smelter wedges, which we did need to destroy some idols. Crossed a giant chain, linked chain, yep, to what I'm assuming is the Iron King's throne atop the Brume Tower. I'm assuming that's what it is, because it looks like a throne, and there is an idol, an ash idol that kind of spawns in front of it. Our first one, in fact, which I think all it does is spews outcry, is what it uses. Yep. A firestorm type pyromancy. So we waited for the pyromancy to subside, ran to it, smelter wedge, and picked up our first fragment of Nadalia's soul. Yep, the Bride of Ash. And then I think the first thing we did is we hit the bonfire, went down some stairs, picked up the dexterity ring. It's a ring that boosts our dexterity by 5 points, which could definitely be useful. Hold on. So 346. If we put on dexterity ring, it won't be as much, but yeah. It does increase by 5 points, so that's... Yeah, it's more for meeting weapon requirements than anything else. Yeah, Ring of Blade is still better. But, yeah, it does boost our dexterity by 5, so, again, more for meeting weapon requirements than anything else. Yep, and then after that we did some drop downs. I think we picked up some more random items. Yep. And then... God, now I'm trying to remember what we did. I'm trying to remember what our flow was. Wow, I'm drawing a blank. That is bad. I should get that checked out, but it did come upon Ash soldiers. Yep, the main enemy types here in the Brume Tower. They are susceptible to alluring skulls, so if you do get a bunch of them on you, just like throw a skull into a corner, backstab one of them, and rinse and repeat until they're gone. Yep. At this stage of the game, we can buy as many alluring skulls from Shalquar as we want. So we're definitely going to have a bunch of them on hand when we go through the Brume Tower. And then we just kind of press forward. I think we made our way into the upper levels of the tower. Yep. We eventually came upon a possessed armor, our first one, which was kind enough to drop their weapon. Yeah, I think it's the possessed armor sword. Yeah, possessed armored sword. Which I think it might be a good sword for the Ivory King DLC, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah. And then trying to remember exactly what we did. I think we just kind of spent ladders down, picking up a Scythe +7. I think we eventually grabbed a Cestus +8. Encountered cast runners for the first time. Bunch of barrels exploding. Hurt my ears. I apologize for that. That was really loud. Yeah, I just grabbed up some mainly upgrade materials. A bunch of Titanite shards, some twinkling Titanites strewn about, a bunch of soul items, some bonfire ascetics. I think there was a fake wall leading to a room with 2 soul vessels and a bunch of old radiant life gems and wilted dusk herbs. I think we came upon one room in particular that usually gives me a hard time. It's the one where we kind of scare away some cast runners. They fall through like a little trap door into one room with an Iron Warrior, which is the big headless guy with the chicken drumstick for his weapon. A bunch of Ash Warriors. There's an idol in there, as well as another Ash Warrior sitting up top who will throw firebombs. Yeah, the only way to get to that guy was to shoot an arrow through some broken bars, a fire arrow to blow up some barrels. That would allow us to open the door to get to that one guy. Then we kind of backtracked back around, where we lured some more cast runners down, used alluring skulls to try to position or to lure some of the Ash Warriors to the cast runners, using firebombs to set them off. It did work. We did get 2 of them that way, and one of the cast runners wandered to the Iron Warrior, who spewed some molten iron onto the cast runner and blew himself up. That alone made that room so much easier. At that point, there was only one warrior left, and the idol. Yep. And although the idol does ash up the warrior, which just boosts his stats, the warrior himself will die if you kill him. However, if possessed armor is ashed, the armor will not die. It will just get back up. Yep. So I did confirm that. We did destroy the idol. Got another. I think we have 4 right now. I think we have 4. Yep. Oh, we need some more wedges. We need at least 5 more. So yeah, definitely gonna have to scour the nooks and crannies for those wedges. Yeah, because we will not fight Raimi with all the idols active down there. Yeah, there's 4 idols down there. I think they all heal him. Yeah, so yeah, so we're not gonna fight him until we destroy all those idols, which means we're gonna get the rest of the wedges. Yeah, I think I know where they are. I thought they were gonna be in that section with the Waldron the Assassin, but it wasn't there. But anyway. Yep, so we cleared out that one difficult room, pressed forward, came upon another possessed armor, as well as the first encounters of the Fume Sorceresses. Yep. Or Sorcerers. sorceressors, sorceresses, whatever. Yeah, basically just used poison arrows to just deal with them. So luckily we didn't have to deal with their little magic spams, but there are going to be some more coming up, so we won't be able to utilize that strategy against them, unfortunately. But some more soldiers. Came upon a giant ash field. Two warriors popped out. Picked up some more soul items. Yeah, a hero soul and a great hero soul for sure. Ladders down. And I think the last thing we did, like, before getting here, was the little tower apart where we are invaded by Moldrin the Assassin. Yep. Who just kind of waits for us. He spawns by that first chest you see when you cross the iron chain. And if you do enough damage to him, he will run away further into the tower down below. And at that point, we just used our Seed of a Giant, which will cause the enemies to turn hostile and kill them. Yep. So we started it, but the frenemies finished it for us. And at that point, we just kind of brute forced our way down. Yeah. Took care of some of the warriors where we could. And it's kind of dealt with one possessed armor. Realized those possessed armors will get themselves back up when they're ashed. Yep, and just kind of ran past everything, destroyed the idol, and then took care of the rest of the enemies. Yep. And at the bottom was more warriors. So again, we just used alluring skulls to just kind of handle the situation. Yep. Basically, we utilize the alluring skulls for crowd control. Yep. And then the chest at the very bottom was the Majestic Greatsword. Yep, the Greatsword of Artorias, in fact, which has a unique two-handed moveset if you have it in the left hand. Yep. Which is really nice. Yeah. Which plays into the item description saying that all the masters of the sword were, in fact, left-handed. Attention to detail is what I like. Yep. And again, with that section of the tower that we did with Moldrin the Assassin, the Ash Idol actually has a curse aura around it, so we had to switch out our mask with the Witch's Veil just to prevent a curse effect. So, yep. So after getting the Majestic Greatsword, came back up, across the Fall Gate. I think we came in here. Picked up the Spell Quartz Ring +3. Also picked up the Fire Quartz Ring +3 from one of the room with the Iron Warrior, the bunch of Ash Warriors, the Idol, the Cast Runners. Yep. So we got the Spell Quartz from here. Checked out the next area. Hit the bonfire. And that was it. That was it. I think, excluding the challenge areas, we are about halfway through the DLC, if I remember right. Either we're halfway or we're a third. Yeah, which is... we made good progress, I'll say that. Definitely made good progress. Yes. So now, next episode will just be continuing on into the Brume Tower. Yep. Hopefully we'll be able to get the Smoldering Iron Scepter next episode so we can activate this tower. But first there's this little area coming up with, again, there's weakened walls, which can be blown up by the Cast Runners. Their death explosions will break walls, so might have to go through it a few times in order to get all the cracks opened. We'll also encounter some more fume sorcerers, whatever their gender they are. Definitely gonna see some more Iron Warriors, the big guys with the big clubs. They're gonna start becoming a bit more common now. Yeah, because there's one place with a key that we'll need, and there's going to be 3 of those guys in that one little area. Yep. And I'm pretty sure Alluring Skulls do not work against them. Urine might. The spell Urine might work against them, but not Alluring Skulls. So that's going to be fun. Not really, but yeah, that is the plan. We're going to continue Brume Tower next episode. But again, that is for another episode. And I thank you all for watching. And I'll see you all next time.